It is 7 o'clock. We call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum with Mr. Torres being absent. At this point, we'll open the meeting with a moment of silence, and you can observe as you see fit. Thank you. Now, if you'll join me in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. It looks like we have some students with us tonight, Dr. Randall.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. We have some hugging hounds.
Bring in the hounds.
That's on National Puppy Day, whatever.
That's the National Puppy Day, sir.
Good evening. Thank you so much for inviting Huggins to come out and share with you what they learned when we had the North Fort Bend Water Authority come and do a water conservation presentation, and all of our students were able to make mini rain barrels, and they would like to share with you their experience today.
Hello, my name is Emma Hagensick, and I want to tell you how to make a rain barrel. First, you take a container, then you put the net on top, and then you put a rubber band around it, and then you put a sticky tape on top, and then you put duct tape on the around it, and then you just put it outside, and you catch water out of it.
My name is Rhett Powell, and I'm going to teach you how a rain barrel works. When something's leaking outside, you grab your rain barrel and you put it the thing, thing that's leaking, and then you put the rain barrel under it. Catch water.
My name is Ashton Bryson. We use water barrels to save water, and we use water. When it's a rainy day, we put our water barrels outside so we can get water, and when it's done, when it's all filled up, we take it inside and we use it for all water living things.
My name is Luke Zubacek, and so you put the water barrel under your gutter, then all the water from it goes into the water barrel, so you could use it for other needs. Hi, my name is Amalia Gray, and I'm going to tell you how to save water and reuse it. When you're done, take short showers, and when you're done using a water faucet, once you're all done brushing your teeth, make sure to shut it off and shut off your garden hose once you're done using it.
William, what do farmers do with the water that they save? What can they do if they conserve water? Can they use it to water their plants?
Yes.
Anything else?
I don't know.
Hi, my name is Kellen Chopino, and I will be talking about water conservation. When we use our water, we can save it and use it for our pools and our bathtubs and our showers.
Good job. We would like to present each of you with a mini rain barrel that they made for y'all, so they will bring that to you at this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
We'll get it to her. They'll get it to her. That was fun.
Thank you, Luggett Sounds. Bye-bye.
I'm sure you may see them on one of the TV stations one of these days as a weather person. So,
Does the board have any recognitions they want to make? If you don't, I've got 2 or 3 here myself. The Office of the Secretary of Defense recognized Lamar Consolidated Independent School District and singled out one employee for contributing to the nation's security. Eva Zamora was honored March 9th as a patriotic employee by the Secretary of Defense's employer support of the Guard and Reserve Program for going above and beyond in her duties in the Lamar CISD Payroll Department. And thank you and congratulations for that. HEB has been a big supporter of public schools, and they are now establishing the Hallsworth Center. It's a leadership institute in Austin which will work with school districts over a 5-year period to empower individual leaders, including superintendents, principals, and key administrators to reach their full potential. In this initial outing, they contacted 27 schools, and we happen to be, our district happened to be one of those. In June, 6 of those will be selected to participate in this first program. So it's an honor that we're selected to be in that first select group. You think the number of districts in the state, they boiled it down to 25, and we're in, or 27, and we're in there. So congratulations to the district. And then, at a recent TABSE conference held in Houston, Dr. Randall received recognition from Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner for one, being a visionary leader in increasing student achievement for at-risk students, documented evidence of closing the achievement gap, and demonstrating school improvement across the district. In addition, Dr. Randall and 3 other Houston area districts were recognized in the demonstration spotlight for their work in this area. As the recognitions closed, our superintendent was surprised with the announcement that his lifetime work in education in Texas was being honored by having TABSE Demonstration District Spotlight named after him. So in future years, it will be the Dr. Thomas E. Randall District Spotlight Recognition, and he got 2 awards. There we go.
well, you notice he had to take about 10 of those, so you can figure out how to get them right. But I thank you for sharing that recognition, but I always remind everyone that I'm just the individual that leads and has an opportunity to work with some of the best educators in this country. And anytime we receive an award like this, it really just demonstrates the quality of work that our teachers and our administrators are doing in Lamar CISD. So I want to make sure that I share that that award with them, because they're the ones that are responsible for it occurring. So thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Randall was not going to tell me about this, but some of his staff out him. So again, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any introductions this evening?
We do.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Tonight I'd like to introduce the new principal at Lindsay Elementary, and we are proud to welcome Heather Williams back to the district. She's a May 1997 graduate of Stephen F. Austin State University with a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies. She received her master's in 2008 in administration and supervision from the University of Houston, Victoria. She has 19 years of experience in education, including 7 years of teaching experience, 1 year as a GT facilitator, 3 years as a campus technology specialist, 4 years as an assistant principal, and 4 years as a principal. She has started in her new role this week.
Congratulations.
Welcome home.
Do we have any audience patrons?
Yes, Mr. President. We are now, of course, for a meeting when the board allots time to hear persons who desire to No presentations shall exceed 5 minutes. Delegations of more than 5 persons shall appoint one person to present their views. The board will hear the concerns, but the board cannot deliberate, discuss, or make a decision on any subject that is not posted on the agenda. Persons who speak to the board cannot complain about a district officer or employee in open session. Such concerns are heard in closed session after proper posting of the agenda item has occurred. As you come forward, please state your name and your address. Our first speaker is David Burchak.
Good evening. My name is David Burchak. I live at 1006 Cleistus Lane in Del Webb Sweetgrass in Richmond, Texas. First of all, well, we're back. I'd like to recognize all of my friends and neighbors from Del Webb Sweetgrass, and I think that we represent very many, perhaps all of the over 65 people in LCISD in Fort Bend County. Remember, seniors in Del Webb Sweetgrass, and I believe seniors throughout Fort Bend County and the Lamar Independent School District don't oppose paying their taxes. They're opposed to paying more than they think is their fair share. So you've heard this request from us several times. First, increase the over 65 and disabled exemption from $10,000 to $20,000. This reduces the over 65 homeowners' tax bill by $139 a year. That's not a whole lot, but it is $139. It's a start. And apply it in the same way that the additional $10,000 exemption that we voted on 2 years ago was taken off of the cap value. Apply it the same way. And then to make the math simple, let's assume there's 10,000 over 65s or 10,000 over 65s and disabled in LCISD times $139. That's that number I've quoted before, 1.39 million. And it needs to be approved by, our request would need to be approved by May 31st to meet the Fort Bend CAD rule on changing an exemption. So again, we're requesting that you put this request on your agenda for review in order to have a decision by May 31st. Now, we all know that 1.39 million is a lot of money, but here are some facts. First, 1.39 million is less than one half. It's 0.49% of your 2016 operating expenditures. That was 281.7 million. So again, less than 1/2 of the operating expense. Second, that 1.39 million would lower the operating expenditures cost. That's your spending per student by $46.81. $46.81. The cost per student increased, according to your CAFR for 2016, by $820 from $86.27 in 2015 to $94.87 in 2016. Again, that's like $47 in the cost per student. That's only 0.16% of your 2016 expenditures. That's so small it could be a rounding error in your budget. So here's some other numbers to consider. If you look at the spreadsheet that's attached, this data was provided by the Fort Bend County Tax Assessor Collector's Office. It's very hard for me to cover all 10,000 over 65s in LCISD, but I was able to gather data for Del Webb Sweetgrass, which is a unique MUD 187, and the data is very concise. So it shows the market value of homes in Sweetgrass as of 1/1/2016, $233.5 million. The taxable value, that's the appraised value less exemptions, was $205.5 million. The tax levy, that's the total that was due, was $2.5 million, and the tax ceiling amount, the portion paid by over 65s and disabled, was $1.6 million. So our over 65s paid, I won't do the percentage, $1.6 million out of $2.5 million. We paid more than half. That's only for 1 year. The total taxes paid to LCISD by Sweetgrass residents in the years 2012 through 2016 was $6.8 million. And you realize Sweetgrass residents, like the other over 65s, don't add a penny to LCISD's costs. No kids, no school buses, no nothing. But we do pay our tax bills. So Sweetgrass had 939 homes on January 1st, and 16 of those homes were over 65 or disabled. Sweetgrass is going to have over 1,500 homes. If 150 new homes were sold each year, and we did 140 something last year, and the 2 years before that it was 200 each year, so we can do 150, we would be built out in 4 years. 154 homes at an average of $250,000 appraised value works out to be $37.5 million of taxable value. And if every one of those was homesteaded, that would add $500,000 a year, 150 homes, $500,000 a year to LCISD's taxable income. The new home sales, if we go through the 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, at 150 homes, 600 homes, 600 homes is going to generate $5.0 million more in tax revenue for LCISD. The first year will be the $500,000, and then the second year will be $1 million, and on. You can see the pyramid there. So we think that the board should ask the financial advisor.
I'm sorry, but your time up, Mr. Barsi.
Okay, thank you. The rest is
Thank you.
in the spreadsheet. Thank you, sir.
Lynn Whelan?
Lynn Whelan, 407 Little Walnut in Richmond, the Del Webb Sweetgrass neighborhood also. Good evening, Superintendent Randall and school board members. I'm not a numbers person like Mr. Verchek, but he has done a thorough and masterful job in presenting how it is possible to give an exemption increase to the 65-plus and disabled population without it being a deterrent, detriment to the LCISD operation. I'm a retired teacher that absolutely loved being in the profession, but I couldn't wait to leave because of how the system had changed. It was, and it still is my belief, that money isn't the answer to the educational problem, but the extreme lack of discipline and respect that I have seen in the classrooms. When these two components are put back in the teaching equation, that is when the students will perform better. Higher expectations yield higher results, not money. As a member of the 65-plus and disabled population, we unfortunately experience more and more doctor visits, mounting medical prescriptions, unwanted operations and procedures, weekly therapies, all in addition to the cost of living going up, except for gas right now, thankfully, and our taxes. I know of people now that are struggling with the increase of property taxes due to the increase of their appraised value of their home. In the coming years, it will be even more of a hardship for those who haven't yet reached the age of 65. As retirees, we have fixed incomes from Social Security, TRS, and some lucky enough to have pensions. These entities give little to no increase to meet our rising expenses. Despite our age and some of our health issues, many of us, as I do, give back to the community by volunteering, including giving our time to mentoring and tutoring to LCISD students. By doing so, we're assisting the district and hopefully meeting the STAR requirements that are coming up upon you. I thank you for your attention, and I hope you will seriously consider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carol Goff?
Carol Goss, 1603 Savannah Drive, Richmond, Texas, 77406. I'm here to talk about the impact of facility rate increases with respect to the Terry Natatorium. That is the old natatorium, not this natatorium, to be clear. I had two children that graduated from Foster High School. They each spent 12 years swimming on the R&R aquatic swim team, and they both swam on the high school swim team at Foster. The issue that I'm addressing today is specific to R&R Aquatics, but it may also impact others who may want to use the Terry Natatorium. R&R Aquatics celebrated their 50th year a few years ago. I'm a board member and have been for the last 9 years, though I have no students that are swimming on the team. We are a year-round swim team that provides both spring, fall, and summer swim opportunities to neighborhood children in the Lamar School District. At the time the facility was built in 1981, Lamar School board members, according to the Herald Coaster at the time, discussed the possibility of having a year-round swim program available to the community. R&R Aquatics has fulfilled that vision as it was seen at the very beginning of the swim program in Lamar. We currently provide these clinics and summer swim team opportunities at the lowest possible cost to students in the district. We currently charge for summer swim team, $80 per swimmer, with some decreases based on number of children in the family. This is for an 8-week regular season. We also provide scholarships to graduating seniors that have qualified through the application process. Now, how does this compare to other swim teams in the area? Because there are others. In just a few short emails and text messages to others in the district who have swimmers in on other teams, I found that they can run as much as $150 per swimmer, which is almost double what we currently charge. So we are considered a low-cost swim team option. We are also a community pool that has no restrictions with respect to neighborhood that you live in, your address, or affiliation with a country club. Our swimmers frequently become high school swim teams swimmers that perform at the very highest levels of competition and have often gone on to swim in college. With respect to the use of the Terry Natatorium, we have enjoyed free use of that facility since we began swimming there in the 80s. I understand that's an extraordinary opportunity that we've been given. However, it hasn't been completely free. We do also donate yearly equipment in terms of lane ropes, safety equipment, electronic equipment such as Daktronics, timing systems, and Colorado electronic touchpads that often exceed thousands of dollars per summer. My concern, the impact of the increased rate charges on that facility, which will now equal that of the new Lamar Natatorium, will have an impact on the amount that we charge swimmers to swim in our programs, both the clinics and the summer swim team. What this increased cost will result in, I am not a fortune teller. However, it is quite possible that if we have to raise our rates to those equivalent to those in other neighborhoods, we will experience a decrease in participation due to that increased cost per swimmer. Also, there is a disincentive possibly to use the old natatorium because the rates will then be equal to that of the new natatorium, which is clearly a much newer and better facility in that it is a covered facility. Additionally, a decrease of quality of equipment at the Terry Natatorium is a concern due to usage declines, resulting in a pool that cannot be used for competitive swim meets due to poor quality electronics, timing systems, lane ropes that are not replaced, etc. I would like for you to consider at best continuing the payment by R&R of Aquatics of in-kind equipment to the Terry Natatorium. A minimum amount could be established for each season of use. Additionally, to consider also lowering the proposed facility cost charged to R&R to continue the use of the pool to its maximum potential with the highest possible number of swimmers in our district.
Your time is up.
I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Joe Greenwell.
Joe Greenwell, 6911 Renfro Drive, Richmond, Texas. LCISD is not a business, but you have a lot of business attributes. And like all businesses, you have products. And when you decide to offer a product, you go out and you determine, A, is there a market for it? B, is there sufficient overhead in the market for me to enter it? What price points do I have to hit in order to make this a viable solution? And normally I do that by going out and surveying my competitors. That's the basic idea of creating a revenue stream. I got frantic phone calls this morning from parents who were very concerned about these rate increases. Now, I can tell you for a fact that R&R, unless they've changed, has never paid a fee. And why is that? Is that because the district wants to be kind to R&R? No. It is there because the George Foundation, when they built and donated the pool to the district, laid out in some covenants, and I'm having now to go back through my records to see if I can find a copy of it, that it would be provided free of charge to R&R Aquatics. Now, R&R was not specifically named, but it was structured in such a way that the local swim teams would not pay. The idea was to get a swimming program started. So I get calls this morning that the fees for those that have to rent the facility are going from $35 an hour to it's currently $35 a day. It's going to $105 per hour. I am a fortune teller. That's gonna kill swimming. If you tell R&R Aquatics that they have to pay out $1,000 a week to use the facility when they have done so much over the decades to make that facility better and never ask for anything in return, this is how you're going to treat them. These changes are arbitrary and capricious. I cannot, for the life of me, understand why this change occurred. I could understand 5% or 10%. But when you're talking about a 300% increase, I don't know how you're going to justify that to anybody. And I guarantee you, this will kill swimming in the district if you do this. And I know for a fact, for at least 30 years, the first 30 years of the natatorium, R&R Aquatics never paid a dime. Not a dime. The only stipulation that we had from the athletic directors was we needed to have a LCISD staff member on our coaching staff and would be there at practices. I don't know what you're going to do. I can only tell you that if I was still coaching and I had to face this, I'm going over to Fort Bend ISD where the rate is about $15 more than I'm paying now as opposed to 300 times more. I would like to chalk this up to somebody trying to organize things and we'll charge, well, we charge this for the football stadium, so we're going to charge this for a swimming pool. You can't treat the two things the same. You don't treat children the same. Every one of our children are individuals, and we treat them individuals. The new natatorium should be more expensive than the old one. That makes perfect sense. But if I was to come to any of you that have to purchase things and tell you that from this day forward it's 300% more, you'd refuse to do it. And that's what these swimmers are going to do. R&R Aquatics 30 years ago.
I'm sorry, what time is that?
Started out with about 50 kids. They have over 200.
All right, thank you. At this time, we'll take a motion to approve the minutes of February 16th, 2017, regular board meeting. Minsky, have a second?
I'll second.
Stan Ziger, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, board member reports. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
You go. Okay. Today we had our Board Facilities Committee report meeting, and Gil Bain turned in the report that the Ag Barn number 2, which is a 15,600 square foot agricultural facility located on 20 acres site at FM 359, will have a completion date of May 17, 2017. The site utilities have been installed, and we are going to vote on the service agreement to provide the utilities tonight. Veneer Rice Gardner gave us a report on the elementary schools. Excuse me. Carl Bentley Elementary School has opened, and the traffic signal equipment has been approved. They will install that as quickly as possible. The Kathleen Lindsay Elementary School, construction is on schedule, and it is to be completed by the end of June. The Don Carter Elementary School, the construction documents are complete, and advertising for the competitive seal proposals will begin in March. The Support Services Center, the natatoriums at George Ranch, Foster, and Fulsher, and the baseball complex at Terry High School will all be ready for competitive seal proposals, and they will be due in April. The baseball complex at Terry High School, the competitive proposals will be due in April. The construction on this complex will be planned to be phased in to work around the baseball and softball seasons. The band hall additions at Terry High and Lamar Consolidated High School, we will have a recommendation tonight for contractor award. The Huggins Elementary new parent drive and parking is complete. The Pink Elementary repairs proposals are due to be turned in at the end of March. The construction is planned to begin when school is out for the summer. The chiller replacements, the Foster High School water plant upgrades, and the HVAC web-based controls will all be put out for advertising for the contractor pricing. This will all be done in April. The district-wide access controls. This project is planned to provide a system that would allow card access to all schools in the district, and they are reviewing all the possible control software systems that are available. And then we have the district-wide site lighting. The project is planned to replace all of the exterior pole lights and building wall pack lights on the schools. There are 46 sites that will be included in this project. And that is my report.
Thank you. Anybody else have any reports, events? I know you've got some events we're attending, so.
And I have, that's a little more put together. Yeah. We did not have a technology committee meeting, but I do have a couple of information that I'd like to throw out there for us to consider for next month. We do know about the Skyward Student Information System. They have been piloting a Skyward Tardy kiosk at George Ranch High School, and it's been very successful. But to get this to be implemented throughout the school year next year, they need additional hardware, and Skyward implementation funds remain from the 2011 bond. An agenda item for the purchase of this hardware could be on the agenda as early as next month, so we'll be looking for that. And of course, this report was right before spring break, but as of spring break, over 13,000, which could be close to 14,000 students have completed their course requests online, which saves hundreds of hours for all those counselors. Also, we've talked about the last couple months that we're looking into for a new learning management system, and they've had another evaluation round, and hopefully the district administration is still reviewing the MLS options, and an item could be as early as next month on that board agenda. So those are a couple of things we can look forward to next month. A couple of us did attend the dedication of Carl Briscoe Bentley Elementary School. It was a wonderful dedication, and I've gotten feedback through a very close friend that is close to the family. They were very pleased, honored by the dedication, and felt very how we treated their grandfather. So they were very excited about that day. And I've also been to Austin for the Legislative Day, where I don't know how many school board members and superintendents are in one room with them coming from the House and the Senate to talk to us from the Education Committee. And my viewpoint is one group's over here, one group's over there, and they are not meeting in the middle anytime soon. So this should be very interesting. And I'm going again next week as a retired teacher, so we should see how that turns out. And I participated at a couple of schools, Austin Elementary and Arredondo, for their Read Across America. And I don't know if you saw in the newspaper, but Arredondo, they had the Yellow Brick Road and a tornado at the front door as we walked in, and it was a wonderful day. I read to 9 classes that day. Glad that being a first grade teacher, I love reading to kids because it was a busy day. All right.
Anything else?
I also attended Arredondo reading, and the tornado and the costumes and the way the teachers just delved into it, it was magical. And seeing the children in the tents and in their nightgowns, everything on the floor, pajama games, nightgowns old-fashioned.
They were in their PJs.
PJs. I'm ready to go back. That was probably one of the most enjoyable times that I've had. I also went to the Youth Philanthropy Program.
Oh, yeah.
And that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There were over 200 students.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, one of our students received the $5,000 scholarship. And I'm sorry, I did not write down the name of the school.
It was actually, one of them was Hannah Gonzalez. Oh, well, one of them was one of the students.
But we did have one representative that won the $5,000 scholarship, which was very impressive. And then I attend the SHAC meetings as a representative of the school board, and they're really looking for more parents and more teacher involvement. And I saw that, the principals, the counselors taking the time to come to those meetings. It's very informative, and I appreciated doing that.
Okay, thank you.
Forgot.
Anything else? All right, Dr. Randall, do you have anything to
I do
report on?
not have any report.
All right, at this time, we'll establish the consent agenda. The action items, we will do A1A, A1B, A1C, and A1D, and A2. Under B, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6A, B6B, B6C, 7, B7A, B7B, B7C, B8, B9, B10, B11, B12, B13, B14, B15, B16, B17, B18, B19, B20, and C1. Would entertain a motion to approve our consent agenda items.
I'll make the motion.
Danziger?
Second, yeah.
Ms. Kaminsky, second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Thank you very much. That completes the action on the agenda. Any questions on the planning items?
Read the
Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped down. I got all the stuff highlighted up here and just was right over the top of it. Even got my pink stickies in here. Okay, the donations. Austin PTO donated $22,595 to purchase a sunport for playground at Austin Elementary School. George Ranch Athletic Booster Club donated $60,000 to purchase weight room flooring at George Ranch High School. And Joe Hubenak PTA donated $5,400 for student field trips at Joe Hubenak Elementary School. Again, thank you so much for those donations. Ms. Danziger, would you mind reading the
resolutions.
resolutions, please?
All right. Whereas administrative professionals are valuable members of educational teams in schools and their administrative operations, and whereas educational administrative professionals contribute in many ways beyond their most recognizable function as an administrative assistant, and whereas their assistance is particularly important in the daily activities and operations of a school district, and whereas administrative professionals serve our educational community by providing support for students and staff, and whereas educational administrative professionals assist school and district personnel as trusted communicators with parents and community members, whereas their connection to the community aids in communication, positive public relations within the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District declares the week of April 24th through the 28th, 2017, as Educational Administrative Professionals Week, and encourages members of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District, staff, and community to express appreciation to our educational administrative professionals. Adopted this 23rd day of March 2017. Then, whereas school librarians play a critical role in the education process through involvement in reading and research, and whereas school librarians serve as an instructor for early literature appreciation and share a unique knowledge of literature as a way to learn and as a recreational pastime, and whereas school librarians serve as a resource director for each campus, as well as provide instructional support for teachers and students, and whereas school librarians teach students to use research as an extension of the learning process that will help students throughout their educational career, and whereas school librarians play an important role in curriculum development, textbook selection, and review of instructional materials, and whereas school librarians maintain a knowledge of instructional technology and educational programs that serve as a resource to students and staff. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District declares the week of April 9th through the 15th, 2017, as Librarians Week, and encourages all members of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District staff and community to express appreciation to our school librarians. Adopted this 23rd day of March 2017. And last but definitely not least, whereas parent and family involvement in children's lives is critical to their success as children and adults, and whereas volunteering is one of the most important aspects of parent involvement, and whereas volunteers are invaluable to our schools, teachers, and students by greatly extending and increasing the district's resources, and whereas the goal of Volunteer Appreciation Week is to bring a greater awareness, demonstrate appreciation for the many hours of labor provided by the volunteers in our schools, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District declares the week of April 17th through the 21st, 2017, to be the Public School Volunteer Appreciation Week in the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District. Adopted this 23rd day of March 2017 by the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District Board of Trustees.
Thank you for reading those. Now, information items. Any further discussion on the information items? If not, we'll adjourn to closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 55.082 of the Open Meetings Act. Time is 7:44. Open session at 8:09. Do we have any motions to bring to the board from our executive session?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the extension of the administrative contracts as presented.
Have a second to that?
A second.
Ms. Roberts? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Do I have any further motions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the recommendation of Cornelius Anthony as the campus coordinator for Terry High School.
Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes. I failed to read one other resolution during the board meeting. It wasn't one of the standard resolutions, so I just overlooked it, and that's the resolution. The Lamar Consolidated Independent School District Board of Trustees on this date, March 23rd, 2017, resolved to nominate Superintendent of Schools Dr. Thomas Randall for his exemplary and visionary leadership toward improving student performance in our schools. This is a nomination for Superintendent of the Year. And now he's got some more paperwork to fill out to get this done. And I'm sorry, I was remiss in reading that resolution. I apologize for that.
And I thank the board for your confidence. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any future agenda items we need to propose?
Mr. President, I think that we need to discuss at next month's meeting the issue with the facilities, the rental facilities.
All right. We have consensus on that. We'll put that as a discussion item for the next meeting. Are there any upcoming meetings and events that we need to highlight?
A lot of things we have, what?
But we have Special Olympics, April 8th.
Special Olympics?
And Job Fair.
State of schools.
State of, and,
I'll be going to the state of county tomorrow, Mr. Hebert.
and there's Job Fair, it's also April 8th, so our district's busy.
Yes, it is. If there's no further business to bring before the board, we will adjourn at 11:18. 11:18. We're dyslexic tonight. 8:11.
8:11. We haven't been that late in years.